the many options of meeting our needs. I'm Nancy Zawicki. I'm a registered dietitian with Northwestern Medicine, and I spend most of my time at the Delnor Cancer Center. I just want to apologize in advance. My allergies are acting up, so I got the gravelly voice, and I might have a little coughing going on, but we'll plow through this. So thank you. So, you know, when I was first coming up with this topic, I was thinking, oh, hydration, you know, whatever, you know, but it really is important. It really affects our whole body, and it's a daily job to meet our hydration needs because it does impact our body if we're dehydrated. So the objectives for today are to understand the importance of staying hydrated, the risks of dehydration and what does it look like, and what are your fluid needs, how to increase fluid intake, oral nutrition supplements and meeting nutrient needs, caffeine use, pros and cons of juicing, and then we'll do a little quiz at the end. It's should be fine. All right, so the importance of hydration, every cell and organ depends. Wait, I'm sorry. I was trying to, oh, there we go. All right, so every cell and organ depends on water. Without it, the body cannot function and meet all of its needs. So some of the things that hydration does, it removes water and toxins. It helps the body efficiently process medications. You might have noticed sometimes when you have to take like an antibiotic, you know, it might say take with a full glass of water, you know, things like that. It's important because it's going to help, you know, get into the system. Hydration helps to transport nutrients and oxygen. It controls our heart rate and blood pressure. It can regulate our body temperature. So like if you're hot, you know, and you're like, oh, I should have some water, you know, it helps cool you down. It lubricates our joints. It protects our organs and tissue. It creates saliva. You don't want that dry mouth. It offsets certain symptoms such as nausea, dry mouth, constipation, and diarrhea. It helps prevent complications with your treatment. So when you think of it, like if a person is experiencing diarrhea, they need to replace that fluid loss. And if they're experiencing constipation, the things that help that is increasing the whole grains, being more active, and getting plenty of fluids. So it helps everything. If you look at the slide there, it says the human body is 75% water, which is pretty amazing. And then blood is 92% water, bones are 22% water, and muscles are 75% water. So it really, we have a lot in us. All right, so now this is interesting. Dehydration happens when you lose more fluids than you take in. Your body does not have enough water and other fluids to carry out its normal functions. So just some general signs and symptoms of dehydration might be the dry mouth, trouble swallowing dry food like crackers and bread, thirst. You shouldn't wait for thirst to have some water. You know, you want to regularly have the water throughout the day. Maybe dizziness or weakness, a low blood pressure, tiredness and fatigue, irritability, a headache. Haven't you noticed when you have a headache and you're like, oh, and you think back, I didn't have enough fluids today. Dark, strong smelling urine, constipation, and poor appetite. So here's a little thing you can do to the right there. You can see how you can lift up your skin on your hand, just gently. You don't want to hurt yourself. And if it springs back, you're in good shape. If when you pull up the skin and you release it and it remains elevated, that can be a sign of dehydration. I tried it on myself and I don't know, it was kind of, am I or not? I've been drinking fluids all day. So it's just a little rough tool, but kind of fun. Actually, as people get older too, their skin can get a little thinner and may not be such an accurate test, but thought we would share that. And then some of the risk and replete of dehydration. So risk, you can have severe dehydration, can be life-threatening and can cause fever, rapid heartbeat, low blood pressure, disorientation, and confusion. You know, sometimes people going through treatment and they're not hydrating enough, or it's not enough for them what they're doing right now. they end up coming in for IV fluids. And it's amazing, they feel so much better when they leave the cancer center after they've been hydrated. So sometimes you can't do it all on your own. And then what to do? Drink enough fluid to stay hydrated. Simply that. Treat the cause of dehydration. So you might have nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, or fever. Those contribute to dehydration too. So what you're trying to strive for is 64 ounces of fluid a day. That is 8-ounce glasses of liquid. I know there's only 5 there, but it's just a little slide. But when you think of it, 8 ounces, let me see. Yeah, this is, I don't know if you can see it. This is 8 ounces, one of those little mini water bottles. You need 8 of those a day. And, you know, kind of space it out, like maybe with breakfast, you know, throughout the day with your meals and snacks. It is recommended that you don't drink too much fluid right before you have a meal because it can fill you up. Some people use that as a weight control strategy. When they're trying to cut down on their intake, they'll drink a big glass of water before a meal to help fill them up. But you don't want to be doing that right now because you're trying to keep your weight steady and be able to eat your meal. So what counts towards hydration? Do my 64 ounces of fluid have to be water? And the answer is no. So today we're going to show you give you some other ideas for hydration. So the rule of thumb is anything that is liquid at room temperature, so something that can melt to a liquid at room temperature can count as fluid. And then all liquids count with the exception of alcohol. So alcohol does not count towards your hydration. So milk, coffee, tea, and with coffee, you want to go in moderation, like maybe 1 cup a day, you know, to get your fix, you know, with the caffeine, we all tend to need that, but not to be just drinking coffee throughout the day. You need just have it in the morning and then be done. Tea, and the same thing with tea, that has caffeine, so you don't want to, you can have some, but, you know, try to incorporate some other fluids too. Fruit or vegetable juice. For vegetable juice, I would try to get the low sodium, like V8. You don't want to have a lot of sodium because then you can get a little bit of edema or like swelling of your ankles. I mean, sometimes that just happens with age and all, but if you're getting too much sodium, that can contribute to the edema. And then fruit juice, you don't want to be having big glasses of that. What I would suggest is maybe pouring a little bit of fruit juice into a glass. And then if you can tolerate the bubbles like carbonation, you can pour a little sparkling water with some ice cubes and it'll give it some flavor, but you're not getting too much of the juice because you want to avoid a lot of sugary beverages. So just enough for flavor and then keep the rest like a water or 0 calorie. You can do soft drinks. You know, I've totally gotten away from those. It's empty calories, you know, especially if you're drinking regular soda. And then even with diet soft drinks, you get the artificial sweeteners. So I think a lot of people have wised up and kind of just had that as once in a while as a treat. Sport drinks, you know, again, that I would keep to a minimum. You know, if you need it, if you're having GI issues like diarrhea, then probably like a Gatorade would be very helpful. But this is all just ideas for variety. Some people rely on nutrition supplements like Boost or Ensure. Here's a carton of Orgain. Because if you're finding it hard to prepare meals, or if you need to do that small, frequent meals and snacks, and the snack, this can be a real good choice, but it also is contributing to your fluid, and it'll give you protein and some calories. So everyone's different with all this, where you're coming from. And I was just going to say, sometimes like Boost Clear or Ensure Clear, you can freeze those into little ice cube trays and just have that in your water as well, just for a little extra something. You can make smoothies, and we've got some recipes attached to this PowerPoint. And then a broth type soup. You know, whenever I make a brothy soup, like a chicken noodle, I try to get the unsalted chicken stock because you don't need all that extra sodium. A lot of us are trying to utilize like garlic and onion, if you can tolerate it, and fresh herbs, pepper to give flavor. So I always try to look for low sodium, but you're still going to get the same fluid content. You can make Jello, you know, it's not bad, little containers of it, you know, it just depends where you're at. If you're getting tired of water, this could be a good option. Popsicles, we made some, we prepared some popsicles today. I'll just show you real quick. Yeah, these little popsicle containers, you can find them pretty cheap. I found a couple of them at TJ Maxx. Here I just poured orange juice into the 4 wells, and I threw some raspberries in as well. And that's it. It's just orange juice and the raspberries. And they're not so big. You can just enjoy those. You know, it's fun. You can put any kind of fruit in there. Sometimes people even put like some chopped up mint or basil if you want. You can get creative with this, but it's a different way of getting your fluid, more in a frozen form. You can also enjoy fruits like watermelon and even tomatoes, peaches. All your fruit has a lot of water content. So if you're eating that, you're actually contributing to your fluids, which is awesome. You can have ice cream and frozen yogurt. And, you know, it depends on the person. If, you know, they're needing the calories, then definitely have some ice cream. Other people, you know, if it's just for once in a while, it's okay. Just don't overdo it just for the calories and sugar content for weight control, but it does contribute to the fluid. And then choosing your drinks. We would prefer that you choose water because it's just such a great drink. It depends where you live. We want you to avoid well water. If your tap water is fine, you know, like the city water, it's okay. I know I sometimes hear some patients saying, oh, it's got a chlorine-y taste and it turns me off. Well, then they start getting, excuse me, bottled water. So that's fine too. And, you know, if you're having trouble lifting things, because you can get a big case, but don't strain yourself. Ask for help. You know, maybe you have a relative or your own family that can help you, or sometimes you have a friendly neighbor that can help you bring it into the house. And that would be fine. And then beverages that contain caffeine can aggravate reflux if you have that problem, and can contribute to diarrhea and insomnia, because there are people that have a hard time falling asleep at night. And you got to think back, oh, what did I drink? Did I have a lot of coffee or hot tea or sodas that contain caffeine? That's why I try to limit to like morning, just have like an 8-ounce cup and then be done with it. You know, kind of know yourself. Be your own detective if you're having that insomnia, because it's no fun to lay in bed tossing and turning and can't fall asleep. And that can be a big contributor. And then infused and calorie-free sparkling water are flavorful beverages without the added sugar. So I was just going to show you, found one of these silicone ice cube trays. This one I actually put coconut water in. We have a recipe, and I was like, I don't really drink coconut water, but I found it in the grocery store, and I just tasted it. It's okay. I don't know that it would be my go-to at all, but it's got a little bit of, it's got about 60% of vitamin C. I don't really see the benefit of using it. I think water's just fine, but I wanted to try it. And some people really do like it, but here, I'm gonna try and pop one of these out to show you. So this you can do water, or I had the coconut water with the fruit. So it's like raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, and you can just float that in one of your beverages. And then, you know, it'll give some flavor. Oh yeah, oh, here you go. All right, here I have another one too. These little ball ice cubes are kind of fun. So you just pour the water from the top in this hole, but before you start, you open the lid and you put your fruit inside, then close it up and pour the water. So I know people use it for like cocktails. It makes it kind of fun, but here's a ball of ice cube and I put limes and lemon in here. So you're going to get the nice flavored water, because it really does do a good flavoring. Here's an example of a glass of water with infused lemon and lime. And as long as you don't have a mouth sore, the citrus is a real good flavor agent. I've seen where you can put watermelon and basil or even mint, you know, in your water. But they do recommend, if you make a picture of it and put that fruit in, you should only keep the fruit in there for like 2 days and then discard it, because it'll start breaking down. So you don't want that to be a problem. So here we can look at the slide further, some of the hydrating fruits and vegetables. So did you know that 1 cup of fruit, such as watermelon, strawberries, cantaloupe, honeydew, peaches, pears, and blackberries count as about 1/2 cup of fluid. And you know, we are in the tomato season right now. So I did go out to our little garden here at Living Well, which we love so much. Thank you. And pick some of these little cherry tomatoes, and they're so fresh. And I've been bringing a tomato to work every day, and I have one for dinner, and I just keep a bottle of balsamic vinegar in my bin and pour it on. And they're just, the season's so short that you just want to enjoy them. And then we have a little basil here too. Yeah, I don't know if you attended our last class, the tomato class, but we had some really good recipes. That one where it was like a baguette or a crusty bread, and you spread it with a chive, onion, cream cheese, and put some slices of tomato. And then in a bowl, you put cucumber, red onion, and some vinaigrette. So we were at a lake house for a week, and all my family was there. And one of the people is vegetarian. So for lunch, I just made that, and everyone's like, oh, I love this. It's so fresh. Yeah, and it's so easy to do. So look at the website. Good to retrieve some of those recipes, because enjoy this tomato season. So yeah, so all these fruits and vegetables do contribute to your fluids, and we're in a great time of year right now with summer, and it's all being harvested now that you have many opportunities to get that. And then here's infused water, and you can get creative with this. It's really fun. You can take like a pink grapefruit, I think they call it pamplemousse, whatever. Yeah, sparkling water or any flavor, whatever you like. I feel that tickle coming on, so I got to drink. So do the sparkling water and add like some sliced cucumber, mint leaves, lime slices. You can do sparkling water with raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, maybe throw a little bit of mint leaves in. Peaches will be coming in, so you can do peaches. I don't know, vanilla bean if you want, and then mint leaves. Let's see, and then sparkling water with sliced strawberries, basil leaves, and lemon slices. And then for some added omega-3s, protein and fiber, try adding chia seeds if you want, a squeeze of lemon or lime, and a touch of honey to your sparkling water. Just remember that you want to use pasteurized honey, like in the Little Bear, if you're going through treatment, because the raw honey can have some bacteria in it. And then the chia seeds will gelatinize in the water, making it thicker. It's up to you if you like that texture. I don't know if I would. I'm not very textural that way, but it's an idea. And then create your own using a sparkling water and any herbs, fruits, and vegetables you like. Like cucumber is really good in water, especially when you just bring it up to drink it. It's got a real fresh smell to it. So utilize all that's in season. And then refrigerate and discard the fruit water mixture after 48 hours if unused. So yeah, so it's kind of fun to do all that. And then ways to increase your fluid. Yeah, I was thinking back when I was a kid, you know, we would be out playing, and if you got thirsty, you went to the hose, you know, and took a drink. But I tell you, these kids these days, the young folks, they're always carrying their big old water bottle with them. And it's so smart, you know, it's just part of them, you know. So I have mine today, my big water bottle. And it's a habit you get into, and it's really nice. It holds the coldness. You can put a few ice cubes and it just stays cold, and it's always so handy. Also, if you are striving to get that 64 ounces, learn how many ounces are in your water bottle so you can gauge it that way. You can count without making a big deal of it. So take it with you when you leave the house, and then refill it to meet your daily needs. You can also fill a small cooler with juice boxes, bottled water, or other drinks, and keep it next to, and that's if you're going through infusion, or if you are tired and you can't be getting out of bed, or, take preparation to keep a little cooler, a little refrigerator near you so that you have easy access to beverages. Eat your protein, which would be chicken, beef, in a broth. So if you even made like your own little soup, use a unsalted broth. You can cut up some leftover meats, add some vegetables, and maybe They have a little pasta or rice left over, you can add to it. Sorry about that. Drink your fluids on a schedule when you wake up and before dinner. Some people set a timer, on their phone, just so that they're reminded to be drinking. And it becomes a habit over time. But in the beginning, you want to have some little parameters there to help remind you. Try to drink the majority of your fluids early in the day to limit bathroom trips at night. And, that is a problem for people, as people get older, or if their mobility is not so good, it's a real ordeal to get up out of the chair and get to the bathroom. So they're not wanting to do frequent visits. But on the other side, it is good to get up and move around every hour. It's good for your muscles, your mobility, that you're using those muscles. So do the best you can. I know if there are mobility issues, people will either use a device to get themselves around, or they use furniture to hang on to as they get to wherever they need to go. So you want to set up your house accordingly so that you don't risk falling. That's so important, because that's a game changer itself. So keep that in mind, to get most of your fluids during the day, so that by evening, you're not being waken up during the night to have to use the bathroom. So anyhow, try sipping on liquids all day rather than drinking large amounts in short time periods. This can help your body utilize fluids efficiently and can help minimize urgent trips to the bathroom. Yeah, I remember my mother, when she was like in her 90s, she always had a glass of water near her chair so that she, reminded to drink. And I think a water bottle probably would have been better because it would have stayed cold. But you can suck on ice chips. You could even make some of these popsicles just with ice and fruit in it. And, you can hold a little stick and, do that. Drink fluids between meals. Avoid filling up on fluids before meals so that you're able to still eat the right amount. Okay, then there's some smoothie recipes. So just a variety of ones that we had on hand. Sorry. All right, so blueberry banana oatmeal smoothie. So here's the recipe. Just throw it into a blender and you get some nice calories and protein. Then there's a peanut butter banana shake, which does have ice cream, milk, banana, peanut butter, and a little chocolate syrup. So that can be tasty. Here's a smoothie. It's a tangy protein smoothie using cottage cheese or plain yogurt, because when you blenderize that, the cottage cheese will get smooth. You can add a little vanilla ice cream. And then if you want, I don't know if I would do this, the prepared fruit flavored gelatin, I probably would forgo that. I might just add some canned peaches or some fruit to it. I think it would be more pleasing. And then a little low-fat milk. Stomach soother, it's got peach yogurt, canned peaches, pasteurized honey, and a little fresh ginger. These are just ideas. You can tweak them and make your own with what you have on hand and what you like. Here's one of Phytochemicals Super Shake. It's got tofu, baby carrots, frozen mixed berries, oat bran, ground flaxseed, a fortified plant-based milk, orange juice or blueberry juice, ice cubes. Some of these might be a little far-fetched. My favorite go-to is just some plain yogurt with some fresh berries. If you don't want to, if your grocery shopping is limited, you can get one of those bags of mixed berries that are frozen. Keep that on hand. So do plain yogurt, those mixed berries. And if you want to throw a banana in and just blenderize it. If it's too thick, you can add a little juice or milk to it to thin it out. I keep it real simple. And if you have made too big a batch, you can put it in containers and freeze it too. Here's a smoothie called the Green Monster. It's milk with baby spinach or kale, a banana, some ice cubes, peanut butter, chia seeds, vanilla extract, a little cinnamon, and if you want to add protein powder. A good protein powder is that Orgain. You can get it, a dry mixture. We use that at the cancer center, the liquid form of Orgain, but it's a good one. So throw that in a blender. I think the key is have a blender to do some of these. And if you don't, just have a bowl of yogurt and put your fruit in there and enjoy it, Here's one, Dreamy Peach. This actually sounds pretty good. It's a cup of milk with vanilla ice cream and either fresh or canned peaches. And then this one is a Beet Red Refresher. It's 2 cups of fresh strawberries, some water, a cup of refrigerated cooked beets. If you're looking for easy beets that are cooked already, Trader Joe's has some great ones. They're from France, but they're just the right size. Granny Smith, peeled and sliced with lemon juice. And if you want to do that agave, I really don't use it myself. I would just mix all that up, taste it. And if it needs a little something, probably I just keep pasteurized honey on hand. I feel that's, you don't use much because it's got a high sweetening power. We don't want you going and buying all this extra stuff. Sometimes utilize what you have on hand. And then beverages. So what to drink? Drink only water from city or municipal water services or commercially bottled water. Pasteurized fruit and vegetable juices, soda, coffee, and tea. And that's a good point. Sometimes you go into a grocery store and they're making freshly squeezed orange juice or other juices. They're just using fresh juice. We don't want you doing that. If you're going through treatment, you really need to purchase like a pasteurized orange juice because it's been heat treated, and that like some of those fruits, when they're making it up right there, you don't know if it's been washed, ahead of time, the outside. So we just discourage that. And then make tea with boiling water and use commercially prepared tea bags. Something I've been doing in the summer, just for a little variation, I use that Tazo iced passion. So what it is, I just use a tea kettle, I fill it up with water, and then after it's done getting hot, I put one of these big packets in of the tea, and I just let it soak in there. You could do probably 1 or 2. Well, it says 1 tea bag with 64 ounces of liquid, so probably 1 would do. And I just let it sit, let it cool down, and then it'll get nice a pink color. And then I'll add ice cubes to it because I have a glass water, glass pitcher. Or even if it were plastic, you don't want to pour hot liquid into that. So I want it to like cool down, and then I just put it in my refrigerator. You want to avoid thermal shock where it could cause breakage, but it's real refreshing, and I just do unsweetened. I don't add anything to it, and it's really good. There's also a few other teas you can try. Just grab them here. So sometimes even, a cup of hot tea, or you can use this peppermint tea, and you can do the same thing. Put a few of these bags into the water and then put it in the refrigerator, and it smells so good, that peppermint smell, and put that over ice in a glass. Here's that passion tea again that I was using. I use that brand Tazo. It's a good brand. It's not from other countries. We try to use US products, just for safety. Here's another one. It's good hot or cold. It's a wild sweet orange. It's real soothing. In the winter, I'll have a cup of the hot tea, and I don't put anything in it. It's just the tea, and it's an herbal tea, so you're not getting the caffeine. All these are herbal teas. And then another one, it's called Lemon Lift. It's a Bigelow tea. It's also very nice with the lemon. So another option for you. So it's not just, water. And then what to avoid. So water straight from lakes, rivers, streams, or springs, we don't want you drinking that. I mean, if you are able to swim in it, like you wouldn't want to be, or going through treatment, you have a port, you can't do that. But just be careful with those kind of water sources. Well water, unless you check with your doctor. So we discourage people who are going through treatment to avoid drinking well water. If it goes through like a reverse osmosis, it can be okay, but better to have probably buy bottled water if you only have the well water. And then avoid unpasteurized fruit and vegetable juices. And that's what we were talking about when places are making the juices right on site. Those are not pasteurized. So you want to buy the bottled juice because it's pasteurized. Avoid raw milk, and then sun tea. And that is something that's popular. People will make their own sun tea in the summer, but we don't encourage that. It's because of the risk of bacteria growth. And then vitamin or herbal supplemented waters, they provide little, if any, health benefits. So, you know, there's different waters out there like vitamin water, and you know, we believe what we read, and we discourage that for people actually going through treatment. We don't want them doing the vitamin waters. And then herbal supplemented waters, you got to be so careful because herbs are not regulated by the FDA. So, you know, you might hear other people saying, oh, I heard this. Well, we do safety first. You know, these teas are fine. The ingredient is just peppermint and it's from a US source. And then this is just, what is it? Lemongrass. And then, yeah, so we don't want you to do anything exotic, you know, keep it real simple. And then oral nutrition supplements, taking nutrition supplements such as Boost, Ensure, Carnation Instant Breakfast can help to make up for calories, protein, vitamins, and minerals missed if you are unable to eat normal amounts of food. So we don't push these supplements. Like, we would rather you get food first, like eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, get your whole grains, get your protein and dairy. But if someone's struggling with being able to tolerate food, or they just can eat little bits at one time, then these serve a purpose, you know, to give you some of that extra protein and calories you might need. So it's all individual. And then your registered dietitian can help you meet your calorie and protein needs to prevent weight loss by recommending the appropriate brand of supplement and frequency of use. I mean, some people are lactose intolerant and they have a hard time finding products that would be appropriate. But like this Orgain product, well, this one's not, but we have one that's, oh no, this one is. It's a plant protein. So it's made with pea protein. So that does not contain lactose. So there are options, but your dietitian can help you with that for other options. So aim to eat whole foods first and then use supplements, meaning these drinks, when eating becomes a challenge. And you know, when you're going through treatment, you want to stop vitamins and minerals, especially vitamin A, C, E, selenium, and zinc. So, and usually even the American Cancer Society says when you're done to strive to get, not to rely on supplements, but to get it from food itself. There's always exceptions to the rule. Everyone's got their own individual thing that's going on with them. But yeah, we prefer whole foods, as you know, the foods itself. Yeah. And then caffeine in large amounts may contribute to poor sleep and increased anxiety. So you want to keep it to a minimum. Caffeine may worsen side effects of treatments such as dry mouth, diarrhea, and nausea. Yeah, it can, you know, aggravate the GI system, the caffeine. And too much sugar can have that effect too. They call it like a dumping syndrome. It just makes things rush, you know, through your system. So you got to be careful, limit sugaries. And some people are sensitive to artificial sweeteners and can contribute to the diarrhea as well. Limit drinks with caffeine such as coffee, tea, and colas, and alcoholic beverages. Alcohol is something you talk to your doctor about, and they can tell you yes or no and what the quantity. So it's not our role to advise you on that. So, and then green tea, you know, is green tea safe to consume during treatment? There has been a recent change in the evidence for consuming green tea during treatment. Green tea is considered safe to consume unless you're on a chemotherapy treatment called Velcade or Tizomum. So if you're on Velcade, you're not to have green tea. Drinking tea is recommended rather than taking concentrated extracts or supplements. So there are some supplemental teas that we don't recommend, and mainly because we're not sure of their safety and what some contain antioxidants or vitamin C, and it's too much for what you want. So stick to just real safe kind of things. Pros of juicing. So juicing was really popular for a while. Everyone thought, oh, I got to get the Vitamix and do all this. So the positive side to juicing, it can add variety to the diet and can be a good way to get vitamins and minerals from vegetables and fruit, especially if chewing or swallowing is a problem. And so in some cases, if someone is having trouble with swallowing, they can only take liquids. You can do the juicing part to thin it down. And it can also help the body absorb some of the nutrients in vegetables and fruits. Okay. And then the cons of juicing, why not to juice? They may cause blood glucose levels to rise quickly because it is a processed carbohydrate. Other things, juices contain less fiber and may be less filling than whole vegetables and fruit. That's the big thing from our standpoint. It takes the fiber out. It's pulverizing it, but it's decreasing the fiber. And that's what's good about fruits and vegetables. It contributes fiber to your diet. Some people are on low fiber, so maybe that would be something to consider. So it's not, I'm just giving them recommendations here. And then fruit juices can count for added sugar or added calories, sometimes adding sugar or sodium. So try to, use, if you do it once in a while, I guess it's okay, but really you want to be able to eat and get more satisfaction out of eating whole type foods rather than everything pureed. I am more of a textural. Even when I make a soup, I like to keep the pieces in there. I like to see what I'm eating. I'm not always one to puree the soup. If I made a corn chowder, I would rather see the potatoes and the carrots and the corn floating in there than it just be one smooth mixture. Everyone's different, but it's just textural, what you like. Here's just some of our sources for the presentation. American Cancer Society,